It's time for
DodgerHeads.
high fly ball into right field. Dodgers have won it all in 2020. Shohei Ohtani, 50-50 club. Strikes him out. There's a drive. Shohei Ohtani. Freeman hits the ball. She is gone. Birthday party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into DodgerHeads Unplugged with Scotty G, presented by DodgerBlue.com. We appreciate you all being here. Happy Friday. Congratulations to the Dodgers on another National League West title. Just on an absolute heater of a run. I'm glad they took care of business in Arizona, got to celebrate. Dreams of a pool party were the thing. Obviously, they got a little more class. But chat, good to see you in here tonight, or good to see you here this morning. I'm already looking forward to it tonight. Need to sleep. Already tired today. Foxy, good morning. Ricardo, good morning. Good chat early on here. Amanda, Eden, all the tier ones. Great to see you in. National League West champs. The Los Angeles Dodgers take care of business on that front. In the celebration, I love the fact that a lot of these players, they just soak it all in. You've got Clayton Kershaw, who every single time it's ingrained in my mind. I was explaining this to my daughter. She goes, why is he not wearing goggles when they're doing the champagne? I said, because Kershaw is going to say, soak this all in. You never know when you're going to be back here. And then they put him on screen and he said the exact same thing, soak it all in. You never know when you're going to be back here. So it was great to see that. Cool experience. Cool to see on there. We were on here yesterday, Jeff and a gang, bunch of them, Bruce, Anthony joined us. It was great to see them enjoying themselves. It's no matter how disappointing parts of the regular season looked, this is a marathon. They do have to work, their asses off to get to that point. So to see them have that moment of celebration, you win the West. The league across the board is having kind of a down year. Nobody's overwhelmingly dominant. So you can kind of look at the Dodgers that, they could and should have been better, but they're performing at a level that a lot of the league is seeing. And the Dodgers look positioned to take care of business. They look positioned as ever. And I know they feel, and to what Dave Roberts said, keep that edge. Keep that edge. Can't say the word he used, but keep that edge. And it looked like they're keyed in. They're ready to go. And we've seen the Dodgers this past season, and then in 2024, accept that challenge. Understand that you might be a little bit wounded, but you've got enough to get it done. So we're going to see. But good to see you all in here. Rosemary, good to see you. Yeah, 13 more wins. She says 13 more wins. They've got to, battle through this wild card round. You'll be playing 3 games at home in Dodger Stadium. Still, that last wild card slot is yet to be decided. The Miami Marlins are doing the people's work and lining up their front end of the rotation against the New York Mets to hopefully keep them out. For their sake, I couldn't care less who the Dodgers face. And then on that end, the Cincinnati Reds and the Arizona Diamondbacks still all in play. So a lot of interesting baseball left to be played. So it's looking like that last day of the regular season on Sunday, where every game lines up at the same time. It's going to be interesting. So we're going to keep tabs on that. But the Dodgers get to go head to Seattle, start a series up there against the potential American League MVP catcher in Cal Raleigh, and see what he could do. See if we can lob some meatballs in there and make some history for him. Who cares? Dodgers locked it up. But some things got to click right. So we'll just sit back, let the Dodgers play. But today's show, we're really going to go through just kind of loose roster stuff when it comes down to this final weekend of the regular season. And now that there's still pressure to perform. Make no mistake about it. I see people in chat and I see people talking about now the Dodgers can get some rest. I get it. I totally understand where you're coming from on the starting pitching aspect, but the Dodgers and Dave Roberts have been preparing these starting pitchers to take on more of that workload, to go deeper into games. And sure, they might pull them an inning or two early, but they're not just, I see, some people asking, why don't they just sit them? call up some people, make those starts. Nope. Keep them in the rhythm, keep them on plan. And that for me is my big checklist number one. Looking ahead toward the postseason, my game 1 through 3 starters, potentially 1 through 3 starters, it's going to start out with Blake Snell, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and Shohei Ohtani, game 3. That's how it's shaken out for me. If they want to swap out 2 and 3 with Ohtani and Yamamoto, fine. But I think for me, Blake Snell's a game 1 starter, Yamamoto game 2, and Shohei Ohtani game 3. That's how I'm looking at it, and that's how it lines up for me. I don't see Ohtani as the game 1 starter. That's not about anything about performance, but I'm looking at it as Blake Snell is the game 1 starter for the wild card round. So you can look at that, line it up, but I believe Blake Snell is going with the game 1 starter there. So for what they're doing here and the probable starters this weekend, we can kind of couple these in between our two segments that I've got going on here, the preview between playoffs and the checklist. But I'm looking at Emmett Sheehan, Tyler Glasnow, and Clayton Kershaw this weekend. Clayton Kershaw, the back of the bookend on Sunday. So with Emmett Sheehan tonight and Tyler Glasnow tomorrow, I expect Emmett Sheehan, there's no opener for him. I expect him to go deep. I expect him to stay on regular schedule. And I expect him to be carried on the postseason roster with the ability to go, 4 innings, 5 innings if need be. Stay on your regular stuff. Keep Emmett Sheehan stretched out. With Tyler Glasnow, he's someone who looking toward the first round of the postseason. Look, there's not a bullpen role for Tyler Glasnow as it stands. But if the Dodgers don't like what they get out of Brock Stewart, who's still feeling the effects of his right shoulder, he had multiple injections. They're not ruling out a return, but his stuff that they're calling his arm pitchable. And that's something for me. We keep talking a lot about how Brock Stewart, has or hopefully is going to be in that right-handed mix. And that's kind of where the Dodgers need a lot of help from the right-hand side in that bullpen. So yet to be checked off the checklist is Brock Stewart. So I don't know how they'd be able to fit Tyler Glasnow in there without some poor performance or something they don't like with Brock Stewart. If that's the case and they don't want to carry Tyler Glasnow and just push him back towards the DS, I don't know how they could do that if Brock Stewart's not healthy. And that's kind of how I see it. You've got to go all hands on deck. You don't have the luxury of it. If Tyler Glasnow can go off schedule. We talked about this yesterday on the show that if he's okay accepting, kind of a unconventional role for him and he's available to go a couple innings, you have to be able to do it. You have to be able to do it. I love what Bruce said. I believe that Bruce Kuntz had that idea. Jeff Spiegel and we talked about it yesterday on the post game. All things have to be on the table. This is going to be a Johnny Holstaff scenario. Same thing happened last year. It's just the names this year. It's more so going to be you're going from a position of strength with starting pitching. You have to be able to see what these guys are willing to take on. And I think they're able to do it. I think they kind of understand the bulk is all on them. So you're going to have to see Tyler Glasnow maybe get a little unconventional. Emmett Sheehan has built for it. I believe he's okay to do it. His stuff is electric. And this is exactly what it is. He's coordinator says, you see Kershaw and Sheehan pitching multiple innings out of the bullpen. I do. I really do. Kershaw is a 1-inning guy. We talked about it not being a case, about a week and a half ago. But look at the state of the pen. We didn't know how deep the issues were as far as a snowball scenario. It just feels like at any given time, one arm can and potentially will implode. If they get into trouble, it's like they get that deer in the headlights look, and it's bound to happen. So I'm looking for some fresh faces out there for that to be the case. Dr. V says piggyback playoffs. I'm not looking for, I've seen the idea tossed around about a full-blown piggyback scenario. I just don't think that's viable. It's not viable. I'll be honest. It's not viable. JB, what's up, bro? Love you, man. I don't believe it's a viable option. You can't do that. You can't put yourself in a flat piggyback scenario where you're just lining, say, 3 starters up. Yeah, partially. Dr. V, I got you. It's just going to be, you might see some of these starters pushed into bullpen roles like Tyler Glasnow if he's available to do it. Whoever is able to do it, pitch a couple innings every other day. Somebody has to take that role. It's just going to have to happen. And if Clayton Kershaw is one to do it, then run prevention is the name of the game. And if he's available to go multiple innings at the back end every other day, can't beat that. And he's going to, take on that that kind of that bulldog mentality where he's able to do it. Okay. And I'm excited for that. Just from a baseball fan standpoint, I can't speak towards how the execution of it's going to be. But when you see unconventional things happen, especially in the playoffs, that's when it piques your interest. You want to see what these guys are made of. You want to see if they're able to, answer that call. And from that standpoint, that's what I'm eager to see. And I know Dave Roberts wants as many pieces at his disposal as he can. I just believe that all of the starters will have to be in the mix. Beforehand, it wasn't the case, but we didn't know how deep the problems went in the bullpen. Aside from like Tanner Scott and Alex Vesey has the chance to implode at different times, and the righties and Blake Trinan's deep-rooted problems this year, it just looks like a lot of these guys are battling some mental stuff when they get on the mound. I understand the performance in the past, but it just doesn't feel like the righties are in any scenario. I know Edgardo had some bad luck the other day, but it's just the pedigree and the track record. It's not there. They need everybody to be available. So I'm excited to see how the front office, cautiously excited to see how the front office puts out that final postseason roster. But everybody's got to be in play here. Will Klein came out of nowhere, and he's in play. He very much better be in play for a postseason roster spot. They need the guys who are on the up and up. Let's see. Mike, great to see you, man. Hope you've been doing well, buddy. Michael Carrillo asks, are Kasparius and Hurt expected to make the playoff roster? We haven't heard anything about Ben Kasparius for a bit. I've spoken a lot about how I'm not a fan of how, up and down he's been. Reliever, had stretched out of as a starter because they needed it. Poor performance, shrink him back down to a reliever, and then just didn't perform. Just feels like he got gassed in that. At this point of the year, Mike, I know the stuff is good, but it's about execution, and you just haven't seen it. Haven't seen that at all. Kyle Hurt, I think, would be not closer, but I believe that the stuff could play in October. I really do. It's just a matter of giving them the opportunity to go out there and show it. Show it again on a big league team, big league roster before the postseason. It would just be asking a lot for maybe even both of them. I think Ben Kasparius, because he's had that heartbeat for a postseason game. Kyle Hurt, though, very limited sample in Major League Baseball as a whole. But Kyle Hurt's stuff has looked great in AAA and his rehab. It's someone we've talked about a lot on this show, other shows. I remember the first time I brought it up, it started to get some steam about, Kyle Hurt. Fastball was in a good spot. Velocity was in a good spot. Changeup looked great. Able to work around damage. So if that happens, it comes out of nowhere. But as I've said before, I believe Kyle Hurt has a big future with the Dodgers. I think he's a stud. So I would love to see what they have for him, but you need all the options, and those are righties. So, but is it all right this time that they just throw handedness out the window sometimes? I haven't broke down all the splits from the lefties in the bullpen to how they're performing to righties. I just know they do need some help against right-handed hitters. And you can't have guys like Tanner Scott going in the back end of games. Just cannot do it anymore. You can't do it. Low leverage stuff, wants to go out and get an inning. You have someone up there right next to him. Go out, pitch the sixth. Go out, pitch the fifth. Be a bridge. Whatever. String of lefties that he can go get out. That's fine. I can't have him pitching at the back end of a game in the postseason, especially not in a 3-game. Probably not in a 5. Won't happen. If you're up 3, you're up 4, we can talk about it. But even then, I wouldn't be happy. It'd have to be lefties. But at that point, a team is going to empty the bench to get themselves in an advantageous spot. And that's why I would just shy away from it. He's not ready for it from a mental standpoint. You can't have your closer out there saying baseball hates me. Just tough. Let's see. Yeah, scrap the year for him. Reset next year. Do what you can. From an offensive standpoint, from an offensive standpoint. I really believe that the Dodgers are in a good spot from an offensive standpoint, and I think that's why everybody feels that way too. I feel like everybody watching the Dodgers and keeping tabs feels comfortable with where the offense is. It feels like Dave Roberts has a pretty good handle on how to deploy a lot of these guys. Hesson Kim is the only one that kind of feels doesn't have not much of a role outside of a pinch runner, and they've kind of been prepping for that. He would have had a successful, you know, usage outing if Dino Ebel didn't have the most egregious send ever on Corbin Carroll the other day, and nobody wanted to talk about that. The SNLA broadcast made it all about Kim, but Dino Ebel just had a blindfold on. That's okay. I don't expect that to happen in the playoffs. Against a left-handed pitcher, that for me is kind of their best look. So there are a lot of righties potentially against the Cincinnati Reds and the New York Mets. So you're going to get essentially, Muncie's going to be in there. Michael Conforto will be in there. Tommy Edman, I hope, is in there. And that's how you kind of deploy it. So that's how I see the roster shaking out. Don't have a lot of faith in Conforto still, but I think they're in a better place now, just flat out based on production. Eden says, "Oh, come on, Scott, I like the send." Brother, he already was releasing had the ball in right field before Kim ever even got to third base. It was a bad send. It was a bad send. He was out by 10 feet, 15 feet. It was a bad send. Corbin Carroll's no slouch and right. Don't do this. It was a bad send. Dino, we don't protect Dino from that terrible send. It was just bad. It was bad. But that's how they're going to do it. Yeah, teams looked all right. Offenses look fine. I've had no issues with them. They've got the pop. They got this. Yeah, they've got the pop in the lineup back. Mookie Betts, Ohtani. Seeing people talk about Ohtani slumping is rough because within that slump is just a ton of slug. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of he might have a really bad looking at bat against a lefty with a big sweeper, big slider, and it's down quick. And then you're like, all right, well, that's happened a couple times this game. He must be slumping. And then he just pops a homer, but he's playing great. Freddie Freeman, everybody's worried about where he was in Arizona because he owns Chase Field. But yeah, I feel offense is in a good spot. Chat, you got to agree. You have to agree the offense feels in a really good spot. Andy Pajes looks great. Tommy Edman, for what he's not doing in the slug department, he's getting bat to ball, and that's all we can ask for. Bottom of the lineup there. Benny Rortfet's just competing. That's all it is, just competing. He's kind of coming back down to earth, but just competing out there. Teoscar as well. So I'm in. I need to see. Chat, let me know your confidence level. You can go 1 to 10 in the offense there. I just want to see something. Yeah, and Mike says Kike's look good. He looks like he's got, on time in the box. Results not there, but on time in the box. And timely stuff with that when you're in spot duty. I feel like that's kind of the best you can offer or and hope for Kike Hernandez. 7 out of 10, cool with me. And what better team in Major League Baseball to game plan and going against teams, in short series, and how they're going to keyhole on these pitchers. They're advanced scouting guys, some of the best in the game. So I expect the Dodgers, with as professional of hitters as they have, they're going to give whoever they face some fits. The fact that they can go against the Philadelphia Philly starters, who, for all intents and purposes, are some of the best in ball, the Dodgers took care of business there. They put up enough to win those games. And I know it's just regular season, but at that point, it was playoff baseball. Yeah. Seen a lot of 7s, 10 out of 10. That's the highest one I've seen. Yeah. Minimum Muncie has been MIA. I expect Muncie to be cool when that goes on. Even when Muncie last year against the New York Mets wasn't having an impact with the bat, Muncie's on base percentage, wasn't he walking? I think he had a 600, 700 on base percentage, something like that. So a lot of these guys know what their job is, know their role. Yeah, Ricardo, offense level 8 out of 10. We need Smitty. I'll be honest. I don't think that's coming. Hairline fracture hasn't looked good. It's about pain tolerance there. How much is he going to be able to do that? Whatever you got to do, Will. Just get yourself back. Training staff, let him take care of it. But it's more than that. Like it's more than that. Because if he plays in a first round, gets hurt, can't come back for the second round, and you don't want to put yourself in that spot. Rortvedt rushing. I think they got it. The offense is in a good spot where they can go without Will Smith. Tom, you have an X factor. You're in today, Malachi. What a guy. 8 out of 10. Don't say that, Scott. I miss him about Will Smith. I understand. I totally understand. He's just, you have to be able to play the catcher position. You have to be able to play that at an optimal level in the postseason. And right now, he's just not, he just does not, he hasn't had the runway to get healthy. All the, optimistic, they hope, well, hope's not a strategy. And injuries like that just don't fix themselves. So it's going to take some time. Be patient with him. But again, how fortunate. You guys are saying, the reason I ask is to like lob that question up. You're feeling 7 or above out of 10 in the confidence level of the offense. And that's even without Will Smith. And that's a plus for you. So I'm happy about that. And before, some of these guys turned it around, we got the field as confident. They got to start executing. Situational ball. They found some pop. Didn't see that getting to this point. So now they are. And that's a checklist. It's not on my checklist. That's a piece not on my checklist. Has everything to do with pitching. Has everything to do with the bullpen. Starters just continuing to do it and possibly expanding their role. And is it fair to ask that much of them? Probably not. Probably not. But this is the situation that they're in. And I think they have enough lefties in the pen to figure it out. You might just need some of the righties to have an expanded role there. Emar wants to know who's hitting the walk-off grand slam for us this year. I hope nobody. I need that Freddie Freeman moment to last forever. Nothing will ever top that. Unless it's Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts having like just gets a beach ball and just missiles one into left. I will float I will drive a reasonable speed, not speeding, to Blake Williams' residence, and I will let all the air out of his 4 tires of his car immediately. So fast. I will go on a weak bender if that happens, and Mookie Betts replaces it. All right. Let's see. Checklist as far as Dave Roberts. I feel like Dave Roberts knows what he's doing. I feel like Dave Roberts absolutely has a feel for the offense, the starters. Seeing him go out to the mound and kind of lobby with his starters, asking them if they'll go, where they're at, how they got it. Blake Snell standing out there. Ohtani, I think they're going to give him a little bit more of a leash. They're going to stay on plan, but with Mookie Betts, or sorry, not Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, he's on a plan, but they're going to expand on it a little bit more. And Yamamoto has just been the horse. What a remarkable sophomore season for him. Tyler Glasnow need to avoid the walks, but I feel like Dave's in a good position here. I feel like him and the starting rotation are in lockstep right now, and that's a great place to be. That's a really good place to be. Everyone talks for years about Dave Roberts needs to have a pulse of the game, and if a starter's rolling, just let them go through it. Well, now you're getting to see that. Now you're getting to see it, 1, because they need it, and 2, because I think the starters can handle it. They can work themselves out of these spots here. The analytics might not line up for it third time through situationally, but I think that Dave Roberts understands that, now it's on the flip side, matchup-wise, but I think he's got the starters. He can give him a little bit more of a leash. So I'm very pleased about that. And that's cool. Let Dave Roberts cook. Let the starters get a little bit more responsibility, go deep, and see what they can do. They've been up to the task. All right. Let's see here. JF says Dave needs quick hook on the bullpen. He just needs to have double barrel all the time. And you'll see that. You'll see if one guy gets up, it'll be like the second guy gets up right then. Somebody goes out, next person's up. Look, 4 spots ahead, 3 spots ahead, count for the 3-batter minimum and just go from there. Cortez says, how far does he allow his starters to go? Anything close to 110, 120? That's a lot of pitches, man. 100, 110, 110 ceiling. Nobody clears that. No one clears it. 120 would be an unbelievable amount. I feel like Blake Snell, maybe. Yamamoto can handle it. Yeah. I think that's it. He said they've done it before. 120 is a lot, man. But I think it has to do more with like up downs. I just go deep into the game. Just go deep into the game. Don't chase. If you got to chase Ks, if you see a pitcher chasing Ks, it's going to be an early day for him, and you're going to have to get somebody up, and that's when you're going to see like Emmett Sheehan or Robleski take down a few innings here. But Justin Robleski, man, his stuff looked amazing. He looked good. Let's see here. I had this teed up. Dodgers open up 3-game series. We talked about it a little bit. Just going to quickly go through what the Dodgers have on the slate there. Look, Dodgers have nothing to play for as far as like positioning in the standings and setting themselves up for anything with the postseason. They're locked into the 3 seed. They will host a 3-game set at Dodger Stadium in the wild card round. This weekend, you've got Emmett Sheehan, Tyler Glasnow, and Clayton Kershaw penciled in on Sunday the 28th. So nothing out of the ordinary there. Just keeping guys in their normal spots here. Going up against the Seattle Mariners, they're kind of shuffling around their rotation a little bit. Cal Raleigh's chasing history, and they've got a great pitching staff. So as outside of that, the Mariners have to continue playing good baseball. The Dodgers, on that end, their thing is done. They don't have to, keep vying for anything. So on that front, I hope that the Dodgers have like a 7-1 lead, and Cal Raleigh comes up, and I hope they just throw them 3 of the biggest meatballs the world has ever seen. Ever. History. Need it. Cal Raleigh deserves it. Passes the Mick. Yeah, need it. Need it. You guys agree? Yeah, Rosemary. Locked in. Throw him right down the middle. Let him break the record. But that's it. Amanda said, no way. Yeah, for sure. Just do it. I want him to win. He's not in my lineup. I haven't played that game. So rare. And I never played that game. I did for like a minute. But I want Cal Raleigh to break the record. Let's see. Philip says, what you want is for Tanner Scott to come in. Sure. 6th inning. I want him to get 2. Look, his stuff plus, this is going to sound ridiculous. His stuff plus from yesterday, electric. It looked great. Top of the leaderboard stuff. Pitch profiler. Shout out to you, man. His stuff looked amazing yesterday. Top of the charts for relievers. I hope Tanner Scott gets like 2 wipeout Ks. And then for the 3rd, Cal Raleigh comes up and he just loops in the worst slider the world has ever seen since, 1900. It's 80 miles an hour and just spinning right to the barrel. And he puts it over the sign and left. Beauty. That'd be great. That'd be phenomenal for ball. Baseball deserves it. Let's see. Karma says someone test Cal for Captain America serum. Yeah, facts. Let's see. Cortez, Judge has been hurt for a bit, hasn't played right field. Cal playing catcher all year. Give this man the MVP. It's going to be dicey. But for America, we need it. For America, we need it. All right. Final checklist stuff. I hope we're all on board with the same things. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath this weekend. Enjoy baseball for a little bit. Get yourself ramped up, because then baseball is going to either, depending how you look at the postseason, is going to suck or it's going to be the greatest thing ever. I enjoy postseason ball. Watching it, check my heart rate is a different story. So I'm excited on that front that we can get to this point, because it's a slow grind toward the postseason. And I'm eager to see how Dave Roberts does and how these starters can kind of carry this load here. But relax this weekend only. And then grab your blood pressure medication. We're going to go to questions, and then I'm going to let all you get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. It's gloomy now where I'm at. It sucks. Sweatshirt weather. What are we doing, man? I'm good on this. I'm good. Yeah. Take care of business here. All caps question, and then toss me something after that. I'll get to as many as I can. To the tier ones joining us, to the people tuning in for the first time, new subscribers, please do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, comment down below, how do you feel? That's your homework. Comment down below, how do you feel heading into this weekend series? And what's your excitement level or your fear level for postseason baseball? I'm going to go through those, pick out the best one. Look, we've been doing this a long time. So I'm always, every single time the postseason kind of feels here, Christmas Eve, excited, eager. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes here. Let me start starring a few of these, and then we'll go through it. Again, everybody, I appreciate you tuning in. This Unplugged run has been a really fun time for us here. Myself and the people who joined me as guests, we're building a good community here heading in towards the postseason. I expect the numbers that we've got tuning in to be, phenomenal going into postseason ball. You guys, you deserve this. You've earned it. As much content as we can put out. And this is for you. This stuff is for you. So I appreciate you all tuning in here. Let's see. There we go. Just going to start out easy one. Question 1 through 10. Will comes back for postseason play. 4. I'm going to say 4. Just because it's looking at odds for postseason and making it round to round. And then looking at the wild card round, I don't think he'll be available for that. And then past the DS, that's when it comes time to, when do you deploy him, Laura, so that his health will stand up, so that if something happens, because you got to remember, there's no DH spot. He's got to play the field. So is he going to be able to play a competitive enough backstop for him to be out there? And I know we heard a little bit about that. Oh, Tani will play the outfield. They're not doing that for the first time in the post. They're not doing it. So that's like break glass in case of emergency stuff. And if we see it, that's like the final reason. But we don't have that luxury. If they want to carry Will Smith into the 3-catcher thing, that's all right. Because you don't really use your bench that often, full bench that often. But I want all things to be in play. Everybody, you have to see a route to performing and doing something there. So if Will Smith is pinch hitter role and he feels good enough spot for it, cool. Fine by me. He's just got to be in a good spot for it. Dave says, time to stock up on the Pepto for sure. Yeah. Stomachs are going to be a churning. Keep the meals light day of postseason, because the second the camera pans from commercial and then you see all the towels waving, yeah, that's when it starts churning, and you're like, oh God, just give me a quick 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first, get the bats up there, someone hit a quick bomb, and then we can maybe take a breath. That's the dream, right? Quick 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first. Blake Snell stare at the crowd, face looking like he hasn't slept in a year. Just get the offense up. I need that so bad. Oh, here we go. All right. Back to back. How often can we use Sheehan in 1-inning stints in October? Need him more than once in a series? It's a really good question. It's a really good question. I wonder how they're going to deploy him today. It's probably just going to be in a traditional thing, but I don't think we see Emmett Sheehan in a 1-inning stint in October back to back. I think it'll be in a multi-inning thing no matter what. You want to keep him stretched out for the purpose that there are like 5 and 7 game series on the horizon. So I think that from that sense, they're going to keep him stretched out. You might see him once, and then on a scheduled bullpen day, that's when you might see him for that short inning thing. So possibly 2, not in a 3-game though. 3-game, 1 time. And a 3-game set 1 time for him. You've got to do that, and don't be surprised he throws 1 inning and then just goes complete, his work in the bullpen, in the tunnel. That's what they're going to do. But anything's on the table. Great question there. It's interesting, but that's kind of how I see it. You have to keep him stretched out for the possibility that you need him. You can't shrink him down. But if anybody from a stuff standpoint can do it, get whiff and get chase, it's Emmett Sheehan. I love Emmett Sheehan, man. He's such a beast. He's one of those young guys that you just need on the roster. And that's where like the names of like Kyle Hurt, River Ryan, I wish were healthy at this point. Gavin Stone, man. Gavin Stone. Get healthy, everybody. Having so many young arms around the org. Cortez, who is the X factor for the wild card? It's the starting pitching. It's the starting pitching. If the starters can take care of business, it's going to take care of everything else. If the starters can go out there and make life easy on the bullpen, that'll be the X factor. If you want one person and you just want a shot in the dark MVP, no, man, don't do that. You know I'm a narrative trained person, but against, if it's against the Reds, if it's against the Mets, Mookie Betts. He's been so bat to ball. On base has been unbelievable. Offensive end, Mookie Betts. But starters as a whole, they know their role, and that's who has to take it. That's flat out who has to take it. They've got to step up to every single thing that's out there. Let's see here. GI, thoughts on any of the nuclear options theorized for Ohtani, such as starting as a pitcher, DH, getting pulled as a starter, then re-entering as a reliever? I don't think you can do that. I don't think he can do that. I don't think he can start and re-enter as a reliever. Can he do that? I'm not sure. That's a rule I'm not privy to. I think that says like the reliever goes in as a reliever and then gets to stay in as a DH. Stuff like that. You can, so as long as he stays the DH. I mean, no thoughts on it. I didn't know that. So you just taught me something there, GI, but I don't think that's a possibility. That'd be crazy. I wouldn't want to deal with that. Nah, that'd be so bad. I'm not saying it would go bad. It might be incredible. He might blow down. He might go 5 and then they take him out for a bit and put him back. I just wouldn't want to see that. I didn't know that's a rule. I'm going to have to read into it. I knew the rule about the reliever DH stuff, but I didn't know about that. I'll have to read up on it. So thanks, GI. You gave me some homework here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to see it. It could be a crazy line. Yeah, GI says he could theoretically have a starting pitcher DH, then DH reliever, and then outfield. That's unbelievable. Teams would be pissed. I'd be pissed if I was another team, saw that happen. You're like, you finally got a breath. You're like, oh, yes, Blake Trinan's lining up here, Tanner Scott. Then you see Ohtani come in from, right field, wherever. Steven, Bobby Miller is right-hand pitcher. Thoughts? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I still have that start in Chicago at the beginning of oh man. Yeah. Nope. I'm good. Thanks, Bobby. Not a fan. How fast that happened. Let's see here. Nando real fast just says Rushing and Bobby Miller getting traded with the rise of Rortvet. Nah. Nah. Rortvet, we don't know how Rortvet's here for a short time. I don't know about a long time, but he's hanging. Benny Rowe, man. Let's see. Somebody said you should give him a shot. Nah, I'm good. Give those options to somebody. Give those innings to somebody else. They're going to deserve it. Let's give it to Will Klein, who deserves it. Give it to Brock Stewart, who needs it. Give it to other arms out there. Kyle Hurt, Roki. Thomas wants to know, good to see you in here, man. He says, Scott, you think Klein makes the postseason roster? I said yesterday, I reposted his, his pitch profile stuff, and he just grades out electric. He really does. Will Klein got, run around, worked right through it. He has to be in contention. They need the arms from the right-hand side. That's why Brock Stewart getting back is so pivotal, because he eliminates right-handed hitters. And they need someone like Will Klein, who has big-time stuff from the right-hand side, to be able to do that. You can't just bank on starters doing it. I know a lot of people see all those names in contention, and they see Emmett Sheehan put into the bullpen. But you have to have those one-inning guys. You have to have those arms that can go in, get you 2 outs, and that's all they do for the day and sit down. And I know a lot of them can do that, but it's about maximizing value. And that's why you need actual relievers, penciled-in relievers to do that. If Will Klein can come in and he has the ability to wipe out, 3 straight hitters, 2 straight hitters, somebody gets into traffic, somebody has traffic, get to pull out one of the lefties, put Will Klein in, 2 on, 1 out, and he can get a punch and a pop out, punch and a ground out. That's what you need. So you actually need those type of guys. So I hope Will Klein does it. I think he can make the postseason roster. I believe there is a spot for him just based on stuff. I really do. I think so. Yeah. Sandy says, Scotty, nobody in the NL scares me of the AL playoff teams. Who scares you the most? Hmm. Nobody in the NL scares you. I'm not saying that's kind of opposite from where I'm at. I don't have we talked about this last year. That's why I kept saying all year this season felt eerily similar to how stuff last year was. Let me pull up the bracket real quick. I mean, it's just a matter of seeing the depth. And when you base like observations purely on like depth of team and pedigree and stuff like that, I don't see anyone in the American League that has that. Somebody has like the Tigers at one point were there. The Mariners have the starting pitching to do it. Um, it's just like stuff like that. You look at like individual units, but I don't see anyone as far as like the Phillies. The Dodgers have already seen them firsthand, and I understand why people don't like. But it's just like playing in Citizen Bank Park. It's something that's not a pleasant experience. It's just not. It just really is not. That place is an absolute factor. Don't like facing them, but I know how the Dodgers handled their starting pitching. I really saw that, and I took note of it. Dodgers starting pitching took care of their offense. I don't see much in the American League, and I see teams in the National League, and that's how I see it. The Brewers have just been playing annoying, pesky baseball. They know how to do it. Pat Murphy's has all these young guys in a good spot. People bring up the Cubs, same type of stuff. Maybe it's just because we see more National League ball, but I don't see much in the American League that have the depth like teams in the National League do, and I just don't. Uh, and that's why I like playing against Philly and TQT brings us up. Yeah, Philly was missing Trey Turner and Alec Boehm. Yeah, I agree. And Dodgers still they lost 2 of 3. Lost 2 of 3 there. Definitely could have been a sweep by the Dodgers. Um, but I think they'll learn. They learned a lot from that series. So I have an opposite view. Um, I don't have anybody. I don't have anybody in the American League. I think this is another National League year. That's what I see. All right, I'll take a couple more. Cornet says World Series rematch. I just don't see any Yankees starting pitching that makes me think of anything. Like, see, watch the Red Sox just take the Yankees. Watch that happen. GI says, should they treat the Seattle series as an open tryout for the bullpen? They've already been doing it. They've already been doing it, brother. Like you've seen it. Kershaw's had a 1 inning. He could very well go 2 at different times. Roki Sasaki. Yeah. Like they have to find out what Sasaki's got. People still on the fence. It's right to be. He needs like 2 more outings. 2 more 1 inning outings in leverage to see where he can fit. And even then, you might not know. Even then, going into postseason, it's still a dice roll how you can deploy him. You've got Dave Roberts has to find out what the heartbeat in the man looks like and see if he can handle that. He's had a little bit in AAA, 1 outing in Major League Baseball as a reliever. You got to find out what the heartbeat is and where the mental's at. Dodgers should hope that he gets 2 more clean outings, dominant outings, and then you can kind of piece him how you want. I would still think it's unfair to pencil him in as the closer until you know for sure. So don't put that much expectation on it. So GI, I think it's already happened, brother. But people saying for those other right-handed opportunities to go to random guys, no, it needs to go to the righties who definitely need more time, and perhaps Kershaw and different aspects there. Okay, take a couple more here. Let's see what we got. Sorry, guys, going through looking at chat, starring questions, and going through here. Sometimes stuff gets lost in the shuffle, so I apologize about that. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, TQT. What do we do with Glass now during the wild card series? I'd love to have him throw an ending of relief somehow. We talked about this earlier in the show. Talked about this yesterday in the post game. All things have to be on the table. Beforehand, it was like, don't know how he's going to fit on the roster, but then you have to leave someone out of the bullpen or possibly go shorter bench. So I think Tyler Glass now would be open to doing that. You get a group thought starting rotation that everybody's willing to do whatever it takes. And I think that's where they're kind of at. That's just me, theorizing. I don't know. I have any insight on that side. I got insight on other things. I don't know where they're at on that, but TQT, I would love if Tyler Glass now was open for it, if he's able to limit those walks in those spots. This is if Brock Stewart can't come back, and if they don't view, Roki as that back end guy, and even then, I don't know what Tyler Glass now can give you in the 1 inning thing. I think they'd want to stay away from that as much as possible. But everything's got to be in play here. Johnny Holstaff. This is from the thing where it was last year was the bullpen dogs got to pick up a lack of starters, and now it's the starters. They have so many. You have to pick up the bullpen, and that's okay. It's not as pretty, but they did this last year with the starters, and it just worked then. That's why the operation looked cleaner, because you saw it to operate at the 100th percentile outcome at several times in the postseason, no less. And that's why people are like, you know what, it worked. So why not? Dave Roberts pushed all the right buttons. The guys executed, and that's 100th percentile outcome. What happens when that doesn't? If it didn't work out, everybody would say the Dodgers are the worst, ever. How could they go into the postseason knowing they didn't have any starters and put this all in the bullpen? Now it's the opposite. Now you get the horses with all the length, all the stuff, and let them go wild. Let them go wild within scope. Don't get too crazy, but within scope. Jedi says, I agree, Scott, with Kershaw volunteering for the bullpen. The other starters will do the same. I think everybody understands the assignment. I really do. I think everybody understands the assignment here. Ideal World Series matchup, something that I would like to see. I mean, for ratings, I don't want to see Dodgers Yankees again. I don't want to see that. Mariners would be cool. Stay on the West Coast. Don't have to do the cross-country travel. Guardians would be boring. I don't want to play the Guardians. That's boring. Tigers, meh. Blue Jays would be fun, but that's a lot of cross-country. So I'm gonna say Mariners. That'd be fun. Dodgers Mariners would be cool. Fun for ball. Stay on that side. Don't travel too much. Stay on the West Coast. We get all the good times. Everybody's pissed. East Coast people get owned. That'd be nice. Someone says it'd be Dodgers Red Sox. Yuck. Hate playing in Fenway. Hate that. Pop fly homers. No. Make it about the West Coast. Everybody in the East Coast will be pissed, or they just won't watch it all. Works for me. All right, everybody. I think we're good to go. Outside of any late last minute super chats here, anything, tune in for 50 minutes. I don't think we go this long today. Everybody, thank you so much. The tier ones tuning in, everybody for the first time. You're still tier one. Once the playoff hits, officially tier twos. That's just how it goes. I'm keeping tabs. Hey, BC, what's up, man? Yeah, he said Red Sox have no chance. Yeah, the Red Sox would be funny stuff. So everybody, please enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy this weekend of Dodgers baseball. Things to look out for. We talked about that. If you want to rewind that, please do look it up. Things to look out for there. How the starters execute. What leash does Dave Roberts give them? Is there anything unconventional? Watch how he deploys the players off the bench, because he's still kind of gaming that and finding the best spots for them. You're getting to see how Hesson Kim is deployed. You're getting to see certain matchups here and how he makes some of these switches later game to get these guys mentally prepared for it. So that's stuff to keep tabs on, and how Dave Roberts kind of cooks and executes from that sense. And you can kind of get the notion of how things are going to go once postseason baseball, comes around. Keep tabs in the bullpen. It's Johnny Holstaff time. Those right-handed pitchers, those right-handed relievers, you have to find out what you got. So look at that. Just look at that purely from an operational standpoint, execution standpoint, and that's what you have to go. You have to go with. So as always, everybody, I appreciate every single one of you. Please enjoy the rest of your Friday. Do all the things for me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. You're the absolute best. No better fans out here. Dodger Blue, we're going to be here for you. The most honest, independent Dodgers news you've got. There will be no one better. There is no one better. Make no mistake about it. Please enjoy the rest of your day. My name is Scott Geirman. Thanks for tuning in to Dodger Heads Unplugged. And as always, till we can't say it anymore, go Dodgers.